What's going on, guys? It is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about clan versus clan. The beta test is now over. It's been over for a little bit, and now I think we have enough information to talk about feedback, where they should be going with this, what we don't like, what we do like, and the recap of the highest point match in Raid. So with that being said, let's talk about the highest point match in Raid. It was our clan, Immortal Elite, versus the Ancient Order here. We ended up with 21,122,344 points. They had 18,301,099 points. Now, this isn't really going to be a guide as far as how to get the most amount of points. Like I just mentioned, this is the end of the beta, so things are going to change for next week. It's pretty fair to assume, I'm almost 100% certain, quite a few things are going to change after seeing the results from this beta. The first thing, as we can see from the top here, is they're going to fix this bug that was randomly kicking people out of the tournament. I did just make a video on that before, so if you do want to check that out, go ahead and do that. But basically what happens is something in the game was triggering a certain action that removed you from the clan's roster without actually removing you from the clan, and it considered you as not being part of that clan. You didn't have to leave the clan or rejoin it. You could have been in the clan the entire time like I was, so it was just unfortunate. Now, one thing I do have going for myself is a few of my clan members weren't able to play full time. So even though I was capped off after 5 hours where I did receive that bug, I got 783,000 points due to some of the other players in my clan not having enough time to actively participate here. I actually racked up 2.4 million clan points in total across a few accounts for this Clan Wars beta test here. So I do have a pretty good idea as far as what was getting points, what wasn't getting enough points, so on and so forth. So I wanted to share that with you guys, get your feedback on this. Before we do that, like I said, I do want to go over this. We ended up getting 2 rewards compared to 1 reward. Now, the first thing they're definitely going to have to look at is the multiplier for this Tug-of-war based system. What realistically should happen is 4 rewards should always be available. If one clan gets 1, the other clan should get 3. In my opinion, that's probably what they were going for, but they just had the multipliers a little bit skewed. Now that they have information, maybe they can implement that. I think that is going to be the best way to do this, and it's going to make sure that one thing, and a very important thing, does not happen that I know a bunch of people are worried about, including myself, which is going to be win trading. There are clans who have abused many things in this game, like boosting in the Platinum Arena, and we all pretty much know which clan that was. But outside of that, we want to make sure nothing like that ever happens again. So we have to be careful when giving feedback, because if the feedback is too generous, then this could lead back to a situation of win trading. If you have a group with a ton of clans inside their whole cluster group, they could be win trading within each other, and I don't really think that's the way to go. It is unfortunate that multi-clans aren't supported in this game, so overall it's definitely unfortunate they have to face each other. I'm not really sure what clans are going to do with multi-clans. Maybe they'll figure out some type of system, but besides that, what we really don't want is win trading in this, so the feedback has to be very careful. So really quickly, just to go through, we have champion objectives where we have 12 million points gained. Campaign objectives, that was definitely on the lower threshold based on the amount of output you got. Potion Keep, Minotaur, Dragon objectives. There was a Dragon tournament there, so those points are a bit higher than average. Fire Knight, people were kind of just farming after they got all of the points they could, and Fire Knight is obviously our dungeon of choice here. Spider's the quickest dungeon you can farm, so that's going to be high for most clans who are competing here. Faction Wars is one of the greatest ways to get free points. You get a ton of points for clearing stage 21 as opposed to stage 20, so if you can farm that, you will be in a massive advantage. And finally, 3 versus 3, as you can see, we really took advantage of 3 versus 3. It's not expensive, it doesn't cost a lot of gems, and gems is going to be the next point I want to focus on here. As you can see in the bottom, our clan spent 106,000 gems during this war. Their clan spent 194,000 gems during this war here. So a lot of people thought this was going to be a huge deciding factor in the overall clan war, and it's really hard to say. As we can see here, champion objectives is where ranking up champions came from, leveling them, and the book situation. Now, our clan has a few clan hoppers in it, including myself. Obviously, I wasn't able to use a lot of my books. No one really used a huge portion of their books. I'm not sure about the Ancient Order. I'm assuming they don't have many clan hoppers in their clan, which is why their points were overall very low and they really couldn't keep up in the end here. So we ended up, after we had a certain lead with a certain hours remaining, we just stopped using resources. So because we do realize this is beta, we're going to do the same thing next week. Maybe we'll shoot for 25 million next week, who knows, but it's definitely smart if you are as a clan, regardless of what they do here, is if you have a good enough lead with a little bit of time remaining and they can't make one final push, just stop using resources, save it for the next time, save it for a fusion coming up, so on and so forth. Now outside of that, one of the really big things to talk about is going to be the whole setup of clan versus clan. Now, I was actually extremely disappointed to see when Plarium asked for feedback from us content creators. Some content creators, even after being in the program for a year and a half, still don't get the point. It seemed to be mostly people who had just lost in their specific clan war. For the beta here, they were complaining. They said the whole system was terrible and they didn't offer any valuable constructive feedback for the company to take. What they did instead was they said you should scrap the whole thing and redo it, make something else, and it was really unfortunate to see. One of them even made a comment saying, after a year and a half, you've been saying the same thing. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're saying the same thing for a year and a half and they're still not listening, it's you that has to change, not the company, or you can just stop playing the game. It's really the only logical explanation there if you really think about it for more than 5 seconds. And maybe that is a bit aggressive, but it's just, I spent a lot of time trying to write feedback for this company so they can make this as good as it is, knowing that they're not going to scrap this entire system that they spent money on developing. Whether it's good in your opinion, whether it's bad in your opinion, the goal that I'm here for, to give feedback, to get feedback from you guys, is how can we make this system better as it currently is. Now, if you really think about things, the milestone rewards, they can be improved on, and I did mention that in the feedback. They can definitely improve on these rewards. I think the points needed to get all of these milestones are in fact fine. And the biggest thing I see people complaining, and one thing they're really not picking up on, is if you're not going to compete for the accessories that are at the top here, this is just a passive way of gaining resources. They mentioned that they're already doing clan PvP. They have ideas. They're starting to develop that now. So this isn't supposed to be some huge competitive system. The competitive nature of clan versus clan is going to be spending resources and who can spend the most. That should have been pretty clear from the announcement once we first saw what we had to do to in fact get points. The only real benefits that an endgame player has is, like I mentioned, for faction wars, where the higher levels you do, the more points you get, so the endgame clans are going to get more points. However, they're going to be placed against other endgame clans as well. Based on the matchmaking system, this system might be a little out of balance when it first comes out next week. However, as you win, you're going to get paired against other winners that were close to wherever you were in ranking, and it's just going to keep scaling up after that. So eventually, it's not going to be a complete blowout if there is some type of issue with whales carrying certain clans. So to that point, if you have a whale carrying your clan, eventually you're going to get paired against a clan full of whales and you're going to get absolutely destroyed. Yes, it may be unfortunate if you're playing against a clan that has a whale in it. However, just know that you are going to get sweet revenge when 3 or 4 battles down the line, they are going to get absolutely demolished with this clan versus clan system. So I do think they approached this correct. While it may not seem good on the first beta release of this, it is going to be a work in progress. I did mention the books of champion points were way too high. I mentioned there are a few other places that give points in this clan versus clan are too high, but there's also one major thing that I think people need to understand. While the books are high, books are very hard to get in this game. Some people do have books left over from clan hopping. However, eventually they're going to run out. Once they do run out, you don't want the points too low, making it seem almost worthless to book a champion during clan versus clan. There should be some benefit based on how hard books are to get and how expensive they are if you do in fact buy them to this system here. And I think that's what they were planning for, and they might have said, okay, well, it's going to be unbalanced for the first 3, 4, maybe 5 clan versus clan matchups. However, after that, most of the resources are going to be gone. It's kind of their way of getting rid of all of these resources from the game on these initial clan war battles. And then after that, things are really going to balance out. So I definitely mentioned that in my feedback. I said, be careful when you're tuning these points here. Remember that what you're going to see in the beta test is not going to be relevant a month down the line, 2 months down the line, when we've already had a couple clan versus clan under our belt here. The resources are going to get depleted very quickly, and it's going to be whoever farms more pretty much, which is probably their intention when they first started this overall. Another thing that I did see that people were a little bit upset about was how they put people into tiers here. They said if you win in one tier, you should keep moving up. That is how it's going to work. It's not going to be based on tier though. It's going to be based on the opponent you're facing. So winner's queue, you're going to keep rising through winner's queue. If someone from tier 1 wins enough, they're probably going to end up facing someone in tier 6. So that is something to keep in mind there for sure. A lot of people were upset because there were so few clans in tier 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. However, once you shrink all of these down, you have a global release. You're going to want condensed tiers like this. Let's see, I'm pretty sure in this last tier, there were 18 clans in this last tier, and only 1,700 clans were invited. There's definitely way more than 1,700 clans here. So once they open this up, this is going to significantly increase in size. And I think that percentage, whatever they are in fact taking, is going to be perfect for this tier system. As people win, they are going to move up in tiers, down in tiers. And I think this is definitely a good way to approach all of these things here. All right, guys, now that we've gone over that, let me know how was your clan versus clan experience if you are in the beta. Now that it's over, what feedback do you have? If you want to get specific in the comments about things that you didn't like as far as the objectives, what gave too many points, what didn't give enough points, definitely leave your feedback and I'll try to pass it on. One thing that I did mention and I already noted on, you don't have to mention books. I did already mention books are a bit too high, but I did already give them the disclaimer as we just discussed, as it's something they have to consider not only just now when people have a surplus of books at the higher rankings of the clan, but the overall view once everyone's depleted of their resources. So give me your feedback, keep that in mind when you're commenting as well, and I look forward to reading through and seeing what you have to say. Alright guys, that is going to conclude my video today on clan versus clan. Now that the beta is over, let me know what you think, give me your thoughts. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you're notified when I drop my next video, and I will see you all in the next upload.